Look, the main thing that we've done is really just worked on the company culture and getting the right people, and we are blessed. We've got what I think is one of the best cultures and what I think is some of the best staff in the industry.
In this episode of my podcast, Relentless Life on Your Terms, Season 3, I sit down with the CEO of Kingsbridge and Hermitage Home, John Goris, who's been a building company for over 20 years, is an award-winning builder. We talk about what to look for when building a home, getting into the investment property market, and the tips and tricks, and some of his daily routines and how he manages his time. This is a great episode full of jam-packed tips and tricks, guys. Hello and welcome to another episode of my podcast, Relentless Life on Your Terms. Joining me is a friend of mine that I've known for quite some years, Mr. John Goris. How are you, mate?
How you doing, mate? Well?
Very well, very well. Now, John has actually been in real estate for almost 15 years.
Yeah, 14, 15 years, yeah.
Works for Hermitage Homes and Kingsbridge Homes. He's been there for 14 years and he's actually been the CEO for 8 years now.
That's right.
Now, what made you get into the industry, first of all, John?
Yeah, look, I've always had a passion for construction. Parents done some development and subdivision when I was younger, and really, even from a young age, had a passion for the industry. Got into it 14 years ago. As you said, became CEO 8 years ago, and now director and part owner of the business. So, yeah, look, it's a really exciting and dynamic industry. There's always something new, whether it's interest rates, grants, the market. There's always something.
How they're building homes.
How they're building, products, materials, suppliers, trades. It's never ending. So it is quite dynamic and quite exciting.
I have to ask, because I'm always intrigued. Where did the name Hermitage come from? Does it have a meaning or origin behind it?
Look, there is an area in France called Hermitage, and some good wines come out of there. So there is a little bit of heritage there. But look, the word hermit is another word for house, and Hermitage itself as a word is about another word for like a home or an abode.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's fantastic. Now, it started as Kingsbridge over 20 years ago, yeah?
Hermitage 22, 23 years.
Hermitage was the first brand.
That's right.
Now Hermitage is mainly for investors.
That's right.
Yep.
So Hermitage, turnkey products, as you probably know, focusing on investors and developers.
So basically, what I sell through Reventon, the similar sort of product.
That's right.
Yep.
Tenant ready. We source house and land packages in the area.
Full turnkey.
That's right. That's right.
And then we go to Kingsbridge, which is for like second, third home buyers. And this is an award-winning home that we're sitting in, which is actually a Kingsbridge home, correct?
That's right. That's right. So we started the Kingsbridge brand about 5 years ago now. At the moment, we've got about 16 displays. Mm-hmm. We've got another 7 under construction. So really more that aspirational sort of home for your second or third home. As you said, we've won quite a few awards over the last few years. So we've HA Most Professional Builder. We've won Best Display Home. This home itself has been nominated as Best HA Display Home last year.
It's a beautiful home. This is 5, but just for the audience, because obviously we'll try to have a look at some photos. It's 5 bedrooms, bathroom. It's an amazing home. It's beautiful, and it's just under 50 squares. Yeah,
no, it is an amazing home, and credit to the team for putting this together, the design team, the stylists, but everyone involved. But really, we're really proud of what we've been achieving. As I was saying, we've won Product Review Best Builder, Australian Achiever in our industry in our category, and then we're now ISO 9001 certified, as well as a carbon neutral business. So we've really been big on just expanding what we're doing over the last couple of years and ensuring that we're delivering quality product, and now we've got some of the accreditations and awards to show for it as well.
So just for my listeners out there, what should you be looking for when sourcing a quality builder or quality home?
Yeah, look, they need to do their research.
On the builder, the product, what?
I think the main thing is the builder. Obviously the inclusions are in some ways up to the client. It's up to them what type of appliances and inclusions they want to put in. It's the stuff that you don't see, the slab, the frames, the trusses, the workmanship, the service, that comes down to the builder. Do your research, find out that you're dealing with a reputable, quality builder.
So someone with a track record that's built many homes.
Track record, testimonials. Again, we're very proud of being an award-winning builder, and then also having having won the product review best builder last year as well. So yeah, do your research.
You're Victoria-based, John, yeah?
That's right.
And how many homes do you build again?
You look, at the moment we're on probably about 500 to 600 pace. So, and like I said, just Victoria. So mainly Melbourne, but we also do regional as well.
So you're looking at a builder that's obviously does a lot of homes, and they're awarded, which makes a big difference. Now, I know you've had a lot of achievements, John, because I personally know you. What's one of your proudest achievements you've had to date?
Proudest achievements, okay. I'll have to say the kids first, because my wife might be watching that.
With the wife and kids, besides the wife and kids, professionally?
And getting married, yes.
Yep.
Professionally, probably, probably taking over as CEO 8 years ago. I'd been with Hermitage for 6 years before that, worked my way up through the company and became CEO. But look, when I became CEO, the culture, the service, and our quality wasn't to the standard that I wanted. And I think you might know a bit of the history as well. I might have spoken to you a few years ago about it. So really working hard.
Can I just ask about that? Because I do. And one thing you've implemented I wanted to share, which I think is fantastic, and you actually sent me a copy. He's got a book called The Advantage, which he gets everyone to read, certain aspects of it.
Yeah.
Patrick Lencioni.
Yes.
And then you sent me a copy of that book, and I thank you for that. So what do you think was some of the main changes you did to help, the whole team?
Yeah. Look, the main thing that we've done is really just worked on the company culture and getting the right people. And we are blessed. We've got what I think is one of the best cultures and what I think is some of the best staff in the industry. So, we've really worked hard over the last 8 years to make that happen. In terms of how I went about that, I think persistency is a big one. And then I think the name of the podcast is Relentless.
Life on your terms, that's right.
But it's about being relentless. I think most people know what's right and wrong, but it's about being disciplined enough to make sure you do that day in, day out.
Being accountable.
You've got to be accountable. A lot of the business books and there's plenty online that talks about what you should do and what you shouldn't. And I think within reason, most people know. But it's about actually doing it and being disciplined enough to make sure you do it day in, day out. You're setting that example. Talking about a great culture, putting your goals or values on a board is easy. The driving it is hard, and that persistency or relentlessness, is a main part of it.
So it's basically like with anything. I mean, it's like what you said. If you don't live and breathe it, and you don't lead from the front and elevate your team to that level, and you have a culture of accountability and consciousness, what's the point? It's not going to work.
That's right.
Now, you've been in real estate for quite some time. What would you see is the safest and the best way to build wealth?
Look, I'm biased, and you probably are as well, but property for me, you can just see the charts and all the growth over the last 10, 20, 30, you can go back as many years as you like. So there are ups and downs and cycles, but
it's with anything though, isn't it?
It is, and it's like that saying, when's the best time to buy property or real estate? Yesterday. So
I say that all the time.
Yeah, well, it's obviously it's a common one, but it's true. Look, from my point of view, and probably from yours as well, but property is an asset that I can see and touch, and you can renovate and fix it, and you can get tenants, and it's another thing. We're very fortunate in Melbourne and Australia, where we are having that growth. Population is constantly growing. There's places around the world where they don't see the growth that we're seeing. So obviously, COVID lockdowns not great, but things will change, and next year. I'm expecting, and the experts are expecting, a lot of people to come back, expats, even people that may have been thinking about coming back to Australia or living in Australia. I think we're going to see a lot of those people coming back as well.
I agree.
I think fortunate, the lucky country, but in some ways it is.
And I want to comment and talk on that point. We've seen crazy prices now. Real estate's really surging and doing well. They're getting tenants, the property land, the land's growing, the everything's growing. And you haven't even considered that aspect. So when that also opens up, that's going to increase the prices even further.
Yeah.
So that aspect's a very good point to add. Now, you only do Victoria. Have you considered going interstate?
We have. Look, we have looked at Queensland, and obviously being a sunnier state, I think it's always on everyone's mind. I'm sure you've considered opening up an office there as well. But look, from our point of view, we've got plenty of work that here in Victoria, and there's plenty more work for us to do here. So we'll never say never, but there's enough work in Vic for us, and focus on what you're good at rather than maybe stretch yourself too far and go into other states. But have consider it. But we're happy being Melbourne and Vic based at the moment.
Now, 3-8 journey. Give me one of your biggest challenges and how you overcame it.
Biggest challenges. Look, probably 8 years ago. I was only 33 at the time, 41 now. Becoming CEO, taking over a business. Like I mentioned, basically the culture wasn't where I wanted it, and the quality and service that we were providing was nowhere near where I wanted it and where it needed to be as a business. So for me, turning that around, I think is the biggest.
What were some of the things that you did to turn it around? What were some of the key drivers?
Yeah. Again, building the right culture, the right environment, for lack of a better word, where people can thrive, and then ensuring that we hire the right people, and then also coaching and developing their staff. So
I know you do that a lot.
Yeah.
I wanted to comment. You talk a lot. You help your team develop a lot. Because I know personally, I know a lot of them as well.
Yeah. So look, if you come to our office, what you'll probably realise, us versus maybe some other businesses, we've got generally experience, but people probably a little bit younger, a little bit more dynamic and open to change. We've got a great senior management team, and they assist in coaching now and assisting a lot of the middle and newer managers. So we are big on that. We prefer to grow and develop our own people rather than take them from other companies. So and that is a challenge, and that takes time as well. So
it does,
but we are big on that. But
You recently got a pool table in your office as well?
Yeah, rang you for a bit of advice on that. So we've got the pool table, we've got the football table and table tennis, and we've got a basketball ring in the car park as well. On days like this, we're not using it too often, but the pool table is getting a good run.
It is. It's good to have that sort of cultural things as well, I guess, in what you do. Now, how do you stay inspired and motivated?
Good question. And I've asked you for a bit of advice as well in the past, but I do try and read biographies and business books. I went to a public school, probably didn't have the circle of friends that maybe some of the maybe guys that went to private schools had. So from my point of view, I like to surround myself from a educational point of view, whether that's books or podcasts. People that are inspiring, and people that we do want to aspire to. So it's mainly that. Other business leaders, whether that's overseas or locally.
Friends, colleagues,
friends, colleagues as well. I do like to look at people that are the best in their field, and try and get tips and advice basically from them.
I talk a lot about that. Hanging around with the right people really rubs off on you, and if you hang around with champions, you become one. I say if you lie down with dogs, you get fleas. So it's important to hang around and put yourself with the right people. So that's very important.
Definitely.
Now, I know you're very busy running, being the CEO of quite a big company. How do you have work-life balance? It's a very popular one that comes up all the time.
Yeah. Look, I'm pretty fortunate. I live close to the office. I've got a very understanding wife who assisted immensely during the lockdown periods with the homeschooling. So I've got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. So she's done an amazing job basically with them over that lockdown period. So the supportive wife helps. Yesterday I was at a function. I was quite late and regularly have things after hours, but I must say that supportive home life balance is very good and very important.
I want to share that because I came home quite late yesterday too. I had a very, very big day. I was out in Geelong, and same scenario. When I get that question, it's about having the right team, understanding whether it's a partner, whether it's a team, it's an environment basically, otherwise to excel. Who to look up to and why? So throughout your career, is there one key person that motivated you? Was it a few people that inspired you?
Yeah, interesting question. Look, I do look overseas and some of the leaders and companies there, whether that's the Amazons or a Tesla or an Apple. So as I said, I do read a lot of those sort of business books, and I think all those people and all those companies I try and get inspiration from. Was fortunate enough to do a study tour about 3 or 4 years ago. Went to Silicon Valley, and again fortunate enough to do tours of Google, LinkedIn.
How did you do that? Was it on your own accord? Did someone bring that up?
It was part of an MBA, a Masters in Business Administration course that I was doing, and it was the last subject. And I must say it was probably more valuable than the whole course put together. But a really amazing experience, and it actually inspired me to go back to Silicon Valley the year after, and there was a massive conference. It was 120,000 people. It was a massive conference in San.
It's more than the MCG, basically.
Yeah, in San Francisco, where leaders like Barack Obama was there. Tim Cook.
What did you take away? What did you bring back? Tim Cook's obviously the CEO of Apple now.
Yeah.
What did you take away from that? Like, obviously there was a ton of things. What were one or two things that really stuck with you?
I think their determination. Their focus, and just being, again, persistent and relentless about what they're going to do. Doesn't matter what people from the outside are saying. They take the advice, but then they make their own mind, and basically drive their vision or passion.
I love that. It's like basically trust but verify. You get the information, you verify the data, and you see, because these people, as we say, they live life on their terms. They're relentless.
Yeah, and you'd be getting it, and I'm sure on social media, people, you have some people commenting great podcasting, and others, saying, Chris, why are you doing this? And probably in not so many nice words, putting you down. So I think
I don't mind that.
Yeah, you like it as a bit of motivation?
No, because if people, I've never seen a hater that he's doing better than you.
Yeah.
So there's usually a cause to why someone has that. So I just kill them with kindness. Thank you for your opinion. I respect your opinion, and have a great day.
And that's great.
Because I use that as motivation, inspiration. A lot of people do that. So I have no interest in. I put all my energy on moving forward. So if people aren't having a go at you, they're not saying anything, I don't think you're pushing hard enough.
That's right. That's true. That's what I tell the kids, that if you haven't fallen and hurt yourself, you haven't pushed yourself hard enough. That's what I tell the kids. So no, I like that. Well done.
So if anyone's got some more bad comments for myself, please send them through. You can direct message me, and I'm happy to respond to them. What advice would you give young people today? And I want to say that's pertaining to real estate, because I know that's your background and your forte, about getting to real estate today. The prices are going up. It's expensive. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, look, from an investing point of view, I'd give them the advice of look at the trends. Generally over X period of time, properties double. People are very fixated about where exactly should I buy, what street, what area. Look, at some of that is important, but if you look at any suburbs around Melbourne, they've all had similar growth if you look at it over a 10-year period. So if you're looking long term, which I recommend everyone looks long term, it doesn't really matter. So try and make it less emotional, and again, look at those long-term growths, because in 10, 20 years' time, no one's going to care if it's north-facing or it's in this street, or even which suburb. So they're all going to roughly go up.
So lead with your head, not your heart.
That's right. And people wanting to work in the real estate industry, which just following up from your question as well, find out. Do you actually want to work in that industry, or are you going in there because you think you're going to make money? So first and foremost, understanding what you're passionate about, and if you are interested in building, do that. If you're interested in real estate agent. If you're interested in development, focus on that. But maybe don't go where you're thinking to make the most money. Focus on areas that interest you in a career path that's going to.
You make a really good point, because if you lead with your heart, you can work a lot harder. You can be more passionate towards something. And they say you never work a day in your life. So actually got two rules for my kids. That's actually one of them.
Yeah.
The second rule I've got is, I don't care what you do, lead with your heart, make sure that you're committed so you can really move forward with it.
I think that's great advice.
So look, you've shared a lot of key points, and I've really enjoyed our time. Are you ready for our quick fire questions, John?
Go for it.
All right, quick fire with John Goris from Hermitage. Let's go. What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
At the moment, I go through a morning routine, which consists of a few things. I've only just started it. I've been doing it off and on the last few years, but a bit of gratitude, exercise, a little bit of journaling. It's funny you ask this, because I didn't want to. I was keeping this low key for a little while, but only started doing it recently. But a bit of reading again, whether it's biographies or business books, and then just focusing what type of day and life I want for my family as well.
So great. I do a lot of those too. Tacos or burgers?
Burgers.
What's your favourite cartoon of all time?
Oh, let me think. Maybe The Simpsons.
The Simpsons. Favourite TV show?
Probably Seinfeld. You mentioned it before.
Good. I'm glad you said that, because we'd have to cut it here if you didn't say that. What's your favourite pair of shoes? Do you have one?
Yeah, I've got some Lacoste that I wear, and I've got all the different colours, and they've stopped making them, which I'm very upset about.
Now, we'll see if we can get them back. What's the worst job you've ever had?
Worst job? Probably cleaning job that my dad made me do when I was probably about 15.
Okay. If you could remake any movie, what would it be?
Any move? Probably do everything quicker and earlier. And
Movie. Sorry. If you
movie?
could remake any movie, what would it
Movie. Sorry, I thought we said move. Movie. 300. I reckon I can do a bit better.
be? I love that. All right. If you could be from any other decade or era, which would you be? Where would you live? What decade, what era?
Probably Australia in the 70s.
Okay. If your house was on fire and you ran back in and you could get two things, well, now we're hoping the wife and the kids are out, so we can scrap them out. What are you running back in to get?
Probably the phone. The phone, and you said two things?
Yeah.
The phone and the old school photo album.
I always say two because everyone says phone. Name of a book that you've read that's positively shaped you.
Look, there's been a few, but one that I'd highly recommend, and a recent one that I've read and listened to the audiobook, which is actually much better than the book itself, which is David Goggins' autobiography. I don't know if you've read it, but you can't hurt me.
You can't hurt me.
Sorry.
You can't hurt me. Yeah.
But read that recently. I'm about to listen and read that, but highly recommend that one.
Describe yourself in 3 words as a teenager.
As a teenager,
Yep.
driven, party.
Fun. Yeah.
Last one, bit of trouble.
So the party and trouble. All right. Now, I'd like to say, before I get to the last two, thank you very much, because you've been supporting me quite a few years for the Vinicio Sleep Out. Yourself and your business, you always get behind me. You're one of the first to do it, so thank you. You always give generously. I really appreciate it. So that means a lot to me. So thank you for that.
No, and well done for you for doing that. And I know you're very passionate about it, but credit to you.
Wow. Give me one thing that no one knows about you. You gave us the journaling that no one knew and a few things, and I want to give me one thing that no one knows.
Look,
get some info.
Yeah, a bit of info. I don't know if no one knows, but I am learning. Have been learning for the last few years Chinese, and I'm learning Mandarin. It's
Ni hao ma.
Ni hao or hen.
That's all I know. So that's it. All right. So we've given some amazing takeaways. Give me the listeners 2-3 key takeaways from our conversation today.
Okay. Be clear on what you want to achieve. Be driven in doing that, and take advice, but at the end of the day, listen to yourself, and do what you're passionate about doing.
So be clear, concise, take your gut advice, and move forward. Be driven.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yep.
Now, a scale of 1 to 10, how much have you enjoyed the podcast?
Enjoyed. I don't do too many. I was saying to you before, I don't do too many of these, so I have enjoyed it. So yeah, no, I'll probably give it a 9. I never give anything a 10.
Me neither. And this is thank you very much to all the listeners. This is another great person that's had on for your benefit. We haven't had many first-time podcasts. John came on as a guest. You learned so much about building Kingsbridge and Hermitage homes, sitting in an amazing home now, 50 squares, awarded builder. And hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And for John, we've got a great book for him to read now, Your Path to Wealth, Brick by Brick. There you go.
Nice. All right, thank you. Appreciate being on. Thank you for having me on.